Hi everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel. Today is the first day of our SQL series 0 to Hero. Today I'll be showing you how to download PostgreSQL and pgadmin on Windows computer, as well as how to download and install PostgreSQL in Mac computer. So let's start the video. So open your browser, go to google.com and just type download postgres PostgreSQL. So make sure the spelling is same, PostgreSQL. Okay, then just click on OK, and then you will be getting multiple websites. So just select this one. This is says Enterprise DB, and the logo is in red, like a sign of like a book sign. So just click on this download PostgreSQL, and then you will be redirected to their website. And this website you will be seeing the latest version on the top, and then you will basically need to find the operating system that you have. Let's say if you're using a Mac, then you can just click on this icon, and if you're using Windows, then just click on this icon. So let's say I'm using Windows this time, so I'll just click on this icon, and download will start in a second. So you can see the downloading has already started. So I have already downloaded it in this, so I'll not download it again. You can just wait for a few minutes for your system to download it. Once the downloading is done, then just go back to the downloading, wherever you have done the downloading of this file. So once you go to that file, just right click on it and click on open. So once you click on open, it will basically start installing the file. So let's just wait for a few seconds. So for mine, so you'll get a pop-up like this. So I'll just click on yes, and then we will wait for a few seconds more. So you'll be getting something like this. So let's just wait. So you'll be getting a pop-up like this, set up PostgreSQL, which is great. So just click on next, and you will need to select a location. So by default, just keep it by default, and then you will be getting some kind of checkbox. So just make sure select everything, okay, and just click on next, and then you will be getting a directory. So just don't change anything, click on next, and you will be getting something called enter password. So just make sure enter a simple password so that you can remember. I recommend you to use admin 123, all are small letter, admin 123. Once you enter the password, just click on next, and you will be getting something called port. So by default it will be 5432, just don't change it, click on next, and then you'll be getting something called local. Just click on next, and you'll be getting something like informations. Just click on next and next, and now it will start unpacking the exe file and start installing. So it may take like few minutes, so just wait for till the setup get completes. Now once the installation is done, you will be getting a pop-up like this, completing the PostgreSQL setup widget. So you just don't have to complete it, it's already done, it's already has been installed. Just uncheck this and just click on finished. Once it is finished, you can go ahead and check on the source and just type pgadmin4. So now you can see that the pgadmin4 has been already installed. So I can just click on it just to open the applications. Let's just wait for a few seconds so that it get open. Now you can see this is the window that you will be getting as soon as the installation is done and you launch the application for the first time. So the application name is pgadmin that you have installed. So you can just close all these things, you don't need anything at the moment. I'll just show you how to create a first database and first table. Okay, so now this is the icon you need to click. Now see, you need to enter the password. So our password we have created, that is admin123. So I'll give the password and save it for the next time. So how did I carry it? So once I click on this server, once I launch the applications, I click on this server, and then I can see my server, which is PostgreSQL 16. So that is already installed, and this is the database. So basically inside this database, by default there are one database which is installed, that is called Postgres, right? So you can create more database as well and more table as well. So I'll be showing you how to create a new database. So to create a database, just right click on it, and just you will be getting something called create database. So just make sure that first you are you need to go to this icon, then you need to go to PostgreSQL, then this database icon in yellow color, and right click on it, then only you will be getting create database. So now we can create our first database, that's called test db. So you can give any name, I'm just giving a name which is called test db. You don't have to do anything else or select or enter anything else, just click on save. As soon as you click on save, your first database will be created. Congratulations. Now we can go ahead and start writing our sql script. So you can just select the database which is test db, the one I have created. I can select the previous one as well also, And once I click on this one, it gets selected, and I can go to this icon which is a query tool. Now if I just click on this icon, which is in dark kind of database, and this play button, if I click on it, SQL script basically get open inside of my screen. So now I can start writing the query. Okay, so I can just go ahead and start writing query. So this two hyphen basically means this is going to be comment line. So basically this comment line is going to be ignored by the SQL. So I can like this, write something like this. This is a comment. Okay, so now I can start writing my query to create a table. So let's go ahead and first create our table. So I'm going to say creating first table. Okay, so the table name, we will name it as like employee table. Okay, so to create table, the statement is simple. So you can say create table, and you give the table name. So we'll say employee employees. This is the table name. Now inside this brackets, you can be you can basically give the column name you want inside this table. So I can go ahead and say id, and I need to give a data type for this id. So I want this to int basically integer, like whole number. Now I can give a comma, and I can give a next column name, which I'll be giving as name. So again, for this name also I need to define a data type. So I'll be giving it as varchar 25. Okay, that means this is going to be a text data type. Okay, now I can give more column name, like I would say phone, email id, and I will be giving like this as well, varchar 25. Okay, so I can just reorganize this query, and you can just select and enter like here. So this is how you go to the next line, and I will just reorganize this line as well. So make sure between each column that you are selecting in creating inside this table, there is a comma to basically distinguish that this is the first column, this is the second column, this is the third column. You can give more column as well, and the first text that is going to consider as the name of the column, and the second text that you enter, that is going to basically consider as the data type of the column. So now this int or this varchar, there are few data types, the important data types that need to to remember. So I'll just write it down, few of them that we'll be using to create this table. So let's just make one more comment. So to make a comment, you just press the control and oblique sign in your basically keyboard, and then this basically two dashes get entered automatically. So I can say we will be using varchar, okay, which is basically a text type data. Then we'll be using int, which is basically numbers type data. Okay, then we'll be using kind of float, which is basically kind of data with a decimal number like 25.5, or you can say like 3.30.2033. Okay, so it could be like this, and there is also something called decimal. So decimal could be like 23 to 44.444. So anything after decimal, there could be multiple numbers. So other than that, there is something called boolean. So boolean is also one of the data type, and there are some more data types are there like character. Okay, so and these are the most important, I would say, data types. And so yeah, let's start creating our table. So now we can just go ahead and run this query to basically create our table. So I can just go ahead and, so to end the statement in PostgreSQL, you just need to type this, basically this sign. So I can just go ahead and run it. So to run a query, I can just select the query, and I can go to this play button, or I can just press F5. You can also customize the shortcut by going into the settings of this tools. So for now, I'll just click on the play button, and you will see the query successfully completed. So that means the table has been created. So how do I check that if the table has been created? So to check that, I need to go to this database again, and I can just click on refresh. Oops, not restore, it's going to be refresh. So I'll be clicking on this database, and I'll be clicking on this refresh. And after clicking on refresh, just go to this a schema. Okay, and after a schema, just go to this public, and from the public you will be getting something called, you can just scroll it down a bit, and you'll be getting something called tables. So how do I get this table? So first I need to select the data type, I mean the database, and I can just extend it by this arrow. And then I need to go to this schema, and from this schema I need to go to this public, and from this public I need to basically go to this tables. And if I just click on this arrow, I see there is a table, the name of the table called employees. So to check whatever things that we have inside this table, I can just go ahead and say select everything from this employees table. So I can just type it here, employees. Okay, so oops. select everything from employees. So basically this is going to basically print whatever I have inside this table. So let me just quickly insert a row, then I'll basically show you how to install the same software in Mac. So let's just go ahead and say, to install it there is a syntax called insert into, and I need to enter select the table in which table I want to insert. So it's going to be table name like this, that's going to be, and then I'll basically go to next line, and I'll need to say something called values. This is the keyboard, and inside the values basically I can enter the information that I want to insert. So I first need to insert, let me just make it smaller. I first need to insert the I can just check it little below. So I need to first select the ID, and the data type has to be int. So I can say ID is going to be 1, and then I need to insert the name. So name I will say, for example, Sarah. So the text has to be entered inside this single quotes. You see I have entered the name inside a quotes. So I can just go ahead and say comma, and I will say the email ID, that's going to be Sarah 123 at the rate gmail.com. So this I will also need to enter this. The email is also a kind of text. You can see the data type. So I need to basically enter a quotes as well. So I just need to basically type the quotes sign, and now I can just go ahead and close this statement. Now if I want to add more records, I can just give a comma, and I can just add more as well. So I can just copy paste the same. Let me just add one more record. Okay, I can just give another name like 2, and let's say okay. So now I can go ahead and basically run this query. It's going to insert this 2 record, insert this 2 records. So first, to run this query I can just select this and go to this run button. Now see, inserted 2 records, it's showing inserted 2 records, and within this time. Now I can go ahead and verify it again by just printing this. So select everything from employees, I just run it. I have 2 employees which are inserted in the table. So that's it. You have learned how to create a database and how to create a table. So if you want to delete the database, just go to this database and right click on it, and you will see something called delete force. So if you just click on it, so it's going to delete the database, and you can just refresh by clicking on it. Your database will be gone. Alright guys, so I'm on Mac now, so we'll be downloading PostgreSQL and pgadmin 4 on MacBook. So let's see how it works on Mac. So just go to your browser and go to google.com and just type download PostgreSQL. Okay, so once you type it, so look for this website which says download PostgreSQL Enterprise DB, and the icon should be look like this kind of book and red color. So just click on it, and once you click on it, you will be getting this kind of pop-up. From this pop-up, this is the version that you will be basically downloading for Mac. So just click on this download little icon, and a download will basically start within few seconds like this. So just wait for 1 or 2 minutes while this download get completes. I already have downloaded the file, so I'll just go back to my file and start installing the files. So let me just cancel it. So let's just go to the file, and this is the file that I have downloaded it. So let's just go ahead and right click on it and click on basically open. So that's how basically we will start installing PostgreSQL and pgadmin on the Mac. So let's wait for few seconds. It is verifying the file. It should start installing very soon. So let's wait for that. Sometimes it takes little time, so it's okay, we can wait. So now you can just double click on it. Now the installer will basically come up. So let's wait for a few seconds again. So you can see it is trying to basically open the file. Now you'll be getting a security pop-up, so just allow. I'll just click on allow, open. Now I'll need to give my password for my MacBook. You need to give your MacBook password basically, so then it should basically start installing. So let's just wait. I just cancel this now. So you'll be getting a pop-up like this. So let's wait for a few seconds again. Now I can just click on next, and by default it will basically select the directory which is going to be library PostgreSQL and 16. So we want the same. Click next. Now you will be getting some pop-up. These things are optional like command line tools and stack builders, so you can uncheck it. So I can just click on next. Now sometime it doesn't allow, so I'll just select everything for now and click on next. Now again it is selecting a a library, just keep it default and click on next. Now you'll need to basically enter a password for your PostgreSQL server. So make sure you remember this password, whatever the password you're going to enter. So I'll just enter my password. Okay, then just click on next. Oops, let me just enter it again. So just make sure you can enter a simple password like admin123. That's actually easy to remember. Then click on next. Now you'll be getting something called port. Don't change the port, just keep it default. Just click on next. Now again, don't change anything from this locale and just click on next, next, and next. It should basically start installing. This should take basically 2 to 3 minutes. So let's just wait for this installations to be completed. Now you can see the installation is done, so you don't have to basically launch the stack builder. You can just uncheck this. Okay, make sure you uncheck this and just click on finished. So that means the installation has been done. We can just verify it by just going into launchpad and just type, look for pgadmin, or you can just type command and space bar and just type pg, and that's how you find it, pgadmin4. So we'll find it from the basically launchpad, and this is the application that we have installed along with the PostgreSQL server. So if we just click on it, it will basically start loading on the computer. So let's just wait for a few seconds while it get basically load on the desktop. So it usually take 2 to 3 minutes. So let's just wait for 2 to 3 minutes so that this applications get basically open. Now you'll be getting a pop-up like this. So let's just wait again for a few seconds. Now you might be need to enter your password for the server, so that's totally fine. Now it is asking for one more password. So this password is basically you need to enter the password that you have basically created at the time of installing. So I will enter my password and I'll click on save the password, so next time it will not ask for the password. Now the PostgreSQL has been installed and successfully connected with our computer. So let's just go ahead and see the functions and everything. So I can just click on this icon and to minimize everything, and let's just start with the basics. So this is the server that you can see. Inside the server you will have something called PostgreSQL 16, and if you just minimize it, inside the PostgreSQL you have something called databases. Okay, now in these databases you will have all the databases. So by default there will be one databases which is created by default, like 1 2 3. These 3 databases are created by default. Now you can create your own databases. So I'm going to show you how to create your own databases. So to create your own databases, make sure you are on this databases and just right click on it, then click on this create, and then you will see something called create database. Now if you just click on it, you will be getting a little pop-up. Now let's say we can give any name. So I'll just give my first db. So this is the name I'm giving. So make sure there is no space between the name. You can give underscore like this. Okay, now I can just go ahead and click on save. It's going to basically create the database. I didn't select anything. So now my databases has been created. Now you can see we have 4 databases, like my first databases which is I have created now, and 3 the existing one. So I can just, so to basically go into this databases, I just need to click on this databases, and then I need to go to this sign which is says let me just make it a little bigger. So now you see there is a sign called a kind of database and a play button. So first you need to basically select your databases that you have created, like this one, then go to this database icon and this play button, then just click on it, which is called query tool. Now you will be getting the PostgreSQL script, and this script basically you can start typing the script to create table, delete databases. So basically this is the basically the script that you will be basically writing your SQL query. So let's just start with writing a comments. To write a comment, you just need to press the command button and the oblique sign on your keyboard. So that's how you get basically 2 dash. That means basically this is a comment. Now if I just type something like this is a comment, so that means this line is going to ignore. So if you are going to any line and you just type to a hyphen, and then just you type space, whatever you will type, this line is going to basically consider as a comment. So this is the comment. So let's just go ahead and create our first table. So I'll just say this is my first table. Okay, so let's just go ahead and create a student table. So to create a table in SQL, you just need to write as basic syntax which is called create, and then you just type table. So this is by default syntax, you need to type it, then you type the table name. So I will just create a table called students. Okay, and inside the student tables you need to basically define whatever the columns you want, right? So for example, I want a column called id, and you need to define like what the data type is going to be for this id column. So I will say int. So int means integer, like 1 2 3 4 numbers. Okay, so this is the first column. Now I'll just add one more column. Okay, I'll just add enter here to go to the next line. Okay, now I'll be adding one more column, which is going to be name. Now the name is a text, right? I can define the data type for this name. I'll just say varchar. Okay, so this is the spelling varchar, and inside the brackets I need to type how many characters maximum I want to allow. So I'll just say 25. So up to 25, the name has to be within 25. Okay, not more than that. Now I can give one more comma, and I can go to next line, and then I'll basically can enter one more column if I want. So now I can see that something like say email, right? Email id. So whatever the column name start, okay, the column name should start with basically alphabet, not numbers. It doesn't start with numbers. So you cannot say something like say 01, right? You cannot say like that. So it has to start with the text, which is kind of varchar. So email id, I want data type to be varchar, so it's going to be varchar again 25. Okay, so that's going to be the email id. Now if I want to add one more column, I can go ahead and say, let's say I want phone number. Okay, phone number, I can give basically again varchar 10. Okay, so this column is going to be basically phone number. Now I can just go ahead and create this table. Let me just reorganize it so that it become more readable. Okay, so this is going to be my first table. So let's just go ahead and create our first table. So this is the basic syntax. You can define any column name, any data type. Okay, so let me just type the data types that we have in PostgreSQL. So int means integer, which is going to be 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, so I mean any number up to basically dot 9 and 0. Okay, so this is in data type, like whole number. Okay, it could be like 100 200 500, any numbers, like 155. Okay, any number. Okay, so any number, whole number is int. And then the next data type is varchar, which is going to be basically the character, like it could be a b c d, anything. Okay, so a b c d, okay, anything like. So this is kind of text. This is called varchar. Now in varchar you have something called brackets. To define like how many characters you want this basically the column to be. So you can just define 1 up to any numbers, like say 255 or anything. Okay, there is something called also char, which is going to be char, that is also character. Now inside the character you can define up to 10 basically character. So it has to be if you are defining char, then it has to be under 10. If the name is more than 10, then you will be getting some error. So other than this, there is something called boolean. So boolean is basically going to be like true or false. Okay, now true or false it could be, so you can define true or false. Now there is one more data type we have, that's going to be basically a float. So float basically is going to be like any number that doesn't basically, it's not a whole number, right? It could be like 1.5, or you can say 255.60, okay, 61, or anything. Okay, you can say 45.55. okay, so this is a float. Now there is one more data type we have, that's going to be decimal. Okay, so in the decimal you can kind of like give any kind of like decimal point. So you can say 12.3345. okay, now I can say like something 342 333. So it could be any numbers after the decimals, where in float you have just two numbers. Okay, so now there is a there are some more data types which are really important. That's going to be date. So if you are just giving a date, defining a date as a data type, then you'll just need to enter the date in this format. So first is going to be YY, that means year, and that's going to be month, then going to be day. Okay, so this means this is the date. This, so first you need to enter the year inside this single quotes, then you need to give a dash, then month, then day. So let's just do one thing. Instead of phone number, let's add a date. Okay, let's say joining date, god. Okay, I just give it as joining date, and I want the data type to be date. Okay, so now I can go ahead and create the table. So to create the table, you need to basically select the script. Okay, like, so it has started from here, right, to creating a table by the name of students, and these are the column and their data types. Now I can just go ahead and select this script, and I just click on basically this play button on on the top. You see, you can also see there are some shortcuts. So on your computer it may be different. You can also customize it by going into basically this pgadmin 4 and this preferences. So I'll just keep it for now. I'll just run the script using this kind of query play button. So if I just run it, you can see some message pop up, create table, and it says query returned successfully, right? So this is under 218 milliseconds. So now I can go ahead and view that if my table has been created successfully or not. So to view my table, I can go to my database and just click on this little arrow, and then you will see something like this. So just go to this schemas. Okay, inside this schemas you will see something called public, and inside this public you will see something called basically tables. Okay, now inside these tables I have the tables which I have created. So sometimes it doesn't appear. If it doesn't appear, just right click on your database and just click on refresh. Okay, once you click on refresh, again go to basically go to this arrow, then go to this schema, then go to public, and go to basically this tables, and you see the tables. You can also check the columns as well inside the columns. Okay, so that's it. Now we can just go ahead and see our tables. So we can just say select star from this table's name, that's going to be students. So to check your table, you can just kind of write this script, which is going to be select star from tables. Okay, now I can just close this query by just giving this parenthesis, giving this semicolon. So now I can just go ahead and again select everything and run this query. Now you see we have the table which is basically displaying. So whatever the query you will write, it will display basically the answers. Now we do not have anything in the table, we just have created the table, but you can see the data type, like we have ID, name, email ID, joining date. Okay, so kind of these are the basic informations we have in the table. Now what this star means basically selecting all the columns from this table, which is students. Okay, now if I just want kind of select only one column, instead of star I can say ID. Okay, and I can just go ahead and run it. So it will only select one column. Now if I want ID along with, let's say, name, I can just write one more column and just again just run it by going into play button, and that's how I select two columns. So you can define whatever you want. So let's do one thing, let's just insert some kind of values inside this table. So let's say inserting values. Okay, so this is just a comments. So just to make my code more readable, I'm just giving these comments. So now I can just go ahead and say insert table syntax is basically like this: insert into, and you basically type the kind of the table's name, which is going to be students. Okay, so whatever you see in red, so this is basically the syntax, and whatever you see is white, it could be the table name or column name. Okay, so it says insert into, and where you want to insert, that's going to be in this table, which is students, right? So now I can just go ahead and go to next line and just need to type what I want to insert. I want to insert some values, right? So this is also part of SQL syntax. Now I can go to next line. Now I can give a basically parenthesis, and inside this parenthesis, inside this brackets, I can basically give whatever I want to insert. Now if I do not define any column name, I need to basically give value for all the columns, otherwise it is going to give me error. Okay, so now let's say, let me start the first row of the information, like the first student information. So I would say ID as like 101. Now whatever you are inserting, if it is a data type is int, okay, or numbers, you can basically give this way, and if it is a basically character, you need to give inside a quotes. Okay, single quotes. So let's say the first student I'm inserting, the student ID is 101, and the name is going to be, let's say, Rahul. Okay, Rahul, and make sure that this name is under 25 character. Okay, if I just give it like 50 character name, it's not going to accept, right? Now after every piece of informations, I need to give a comma to distinguish that this ID that belongs to ID, and this name belongs to the next column, which is varchar. Now other than that, I would say I want email ID. So again, the email is also varchar, which is a text. I need to basically enter inside this basically single quotes. So I can say rahul123@gmail.com. okay, now I will just give one more comma. Now I need to enter the date. Now dates are also entered in this format that I have shown you earlier. So which is going to be, let's say, let's just give a date as like today, which is 2024. That's going to be 03 and 27. Okay, now you need to ensure the date is entered inside this basically single quotes, and all the text are entered in the single quotes. But value like decimal, you don't have to, it's a number, so you don't have to enter in the quotes. Float is also a number, you don't have to enter in a quotes. Now boolean is basically true false, you don't have to enter in a quotes. So now I can just go ahead and run this script. I can just end this script and select everything, and you can just go to this play button. Now you can see 0 inserted, 0 1, that means one record inserted, and this is showing that query returned successfully. Now I can just go ahead and select this to see whatever we have inside the table. I can just run this by play button. and you see that we have successfully inserted basically one row records in the table. So congratulations if you have managed to basically insert your first records inside the table and you have basically created the table. That's perfect. So now let's go ahead and see. We only want to insert like ID and the student name. We don't want to insert rest of the things. Let's see how it looks like. Okay, so it is going to be same. You can just copy it from here. So we want to, this time we want to only insert a specific informations inside this table. So if you want to insert a specific informations, you need to basically define the column name. So I'm saying in a brackets ID, I want to insert ID and kind of name. Okay, so I want basically what I'm saying, insert into the student table into this ID and this name, nothing else. Now I need to basically give only two values. So I will say ID is going to be 102 and name is going to be, let's say Rex. Okay, now if I want one more student records, I need to basically give a comma outside this parenthesis. Now I can go to next line and I can just give a parenthesis again, and inside the parenthesis I need to insert like, let's say one more student. That's going to be Priya. Okay, so I'll say Priya. Now say if I just mistakenly ignore this basically parenthesis, what happens? Okay, let's just say I just remove this parenthesis. Let's see what happens. Okay, now if I'm removing the parenthesis, you can see it is basically showing white color. So this is basically, earlier it was showing in yellow color, right? So it's not highlighted at the moment, so it will basically give us some error. So let's just close the statement. Now I can just go ahead and run it by clicking on this play button. Now you see it's showing that column Priya does not exist. So it's showing that where the error is, and you see it's highlighted in red, right? So in this Priya, so that's where you basically understand, okay, so this is where I did a mistake, because I didn't selected enter this text inside a quotes. Now I can just say press this quotes button, and I can just run this time again. Now you will see kind of this is inserted. Now I usually use shortcut. Now if you want to know like how I am basically kind of running this, so I can select the script and select like my shortcut is basically shift and enter. You can customize your shortcut, or you can enter whatever showing by just hovering over, if you're hovering over your mouse here, you can see your shortcut. Now it is run successfully. Let's just verify it. I can just go ahead and select everything from the student table. Now you see I have 3 student records, but 2 student record doesn't have email ID and the joining date, which is perfectly fine because we did not define this, right? So that is it for today. Now let's just let me just show you how to kind of delete the table that you have created, and how to create a database using the script instead of like going into right clicking this. So let's just show how to delete the table. So to delete the table, you just need to select drop. Okay, so let's just say deleting table. So to delete any table from the kind of SQL database, PostgreSQL database, you just need to type drop table. Okay, and the table name, which is students. Now I can just go ahead and say run this. See, drop table successfully done. So this is the syntax, drop table, and you basically give the table name. Now if I just go ahead and refresh, now you can see I have the table, right, the students. Now if I just refresh it here, you will see the table is gone. I don't have the table anymore. So that's perfectly fine. Let's just show you how to create a new database in PostgreSQL using script. Okay, so let's say creating new DB. Okay, now this time I'm going to name this database as my database 2. So to create a new database, you just need to say create database. So this is the key, this is the syntax, create database. Now you see it's get highlighted because this is the correct syntax. If you're entering something incorrectly, it will not highlight, it will basically show in a white. Okay, so I'm saying create database, and I need to basically give the database name. So I will say my second DB. Okay, so that means my second database. So this is the name I'm giving. So before running it, let me just show you I don't have any this database, right? So I can just say minimize it, as I have all this database. Now if I want to create this database, I can just go ahead and select it, go to this play button, and it's done. You see create database successfully run. Now I can just go ahead and just right click on it, click on refresh. Now you see I have this database, which is my second database. Now to go inside it, I can just click on it, it will basically get activated. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much everyone for watching the video till the end. I'm going to basically post 2 videos every week, so do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you really want to learn SQL. Have a good day. See you.